Hey, what's up, you guys? My name is Zander Foster, and today I am doing the attraction tag. I was going through my subscriptions and I saw that Kovu made a video called The Attraction Tag and started the attraction tag. And I thought it was really interesting. I already made a video talking about my sexual orientation, so if you want to check that video out, I'll leave the link in the description. But I like this attraction tag because it goes deeper into different parts of attraction, not just sexual attraction. So I'll also link to Kovu's video so you can watch where the attraction tag started. Right now, I'm just going to run through the questions and answer them for you guys. If you guys have any questions about anything I say, or comments or concerns, then make sure you drop them in the comments. Before we jump into it, I just want to point out that I just cropped this t-shirt and it looks really good. This is what it looks like. I like it. It says, "Stupid is as stupid does." If you watched my latest thrifting video, you know I got this at the thrift store. The sleeves and the collar, so cute. Starting off this tag is a question about romantic attraction. To what genders, if any, do you feel romantic attraction? I think this, out of all the questions, might be the hardest one to answer because I'm a pretty romantic guy. I love exchanging little gifts. I love going on dates. I love opening doors for people, and I eat it up, you know? I'm just a romantic guy. That being said, I've only expressed intense romantic attraction and feelings to people who I've been in a relationship with, and that's been girls, so I'm gonna have to go with girls on romantic attraction. Next question is, what genders, if any, are you sexually attracted to? I'd say I'm exclusively attracted to women. I've never had an experience where I was sexually attracted to a man. I think in more ways than one, in more areas than one, I'm attracted to femininity. But sexually, I'd say I'm attracted to women. The reason I love this tag is because it goes deeper into attraction. The next question is, what genders, if any, are you aesthetically attracted to? And I didn't know what this was, and I'm really glad Kovu explained it because I wouldn't have known what this was. But basically, aesthetic attraction, if you don't know what it is being attracted to the beauty of a person and wanting to stare at them the way that you would want to stare at a sunset. That was the example that he gave. I think aesthetically, I'm attracted to everyone along the gender spectrum. I think when you get closer to the very masculine side of gender expression, it's more of an envy, and so I look to guys with like chiseled jaws or cool hair or broad shoulders, and I want to stare at them because that's what I want for myself. And when you get to the more feminine side of the spectrum, I want to stare at those people because they're pretty. Next question is, what genders, if any, are you sensually attracted to? So that's like holding hands and cuddling. I am always down for a good cuddle. I cuddle with my rabbit. He's a male. I don't know if that's relevant to this tag. But I would say, in terms of attraction, what I seek out for, I crave more sensual exchanges with women and the women that I have intimate bonds with in my life. That being said, I'm not opposed to like a bro cuddle, you know? If it happens, it happens. Next question is, what genders, if any, are you emotionally attracted to? When I was watching Kovu's video and when I was reading through the tags questions, this is where it sort of split for me, and I realized that attraction isn't always like a partner, like a girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever. You know, you're attracted to the strength in your friend, and that's what makes you want to be their friend. So in terms of emotional attraction, I'd say I'm emotionally attracted to anyone along the gender spectrum as long as they respect my vulnerability and hold space for that and are also willing to be vulnerable with me, because if someone isn't willing to show me that vulnerability, it's going to be really hard to have a relationship with them of any kind. The next question is, do you get crushes on people? I think when you're in a relationship that satisfies you emotionally and mentally, then you don't seek connection elsewhere, and so you don't really develop those crushes. But yeah, I have experienced having crushes. I think once I came out and once I realized my gender identity, I didn't have crushes on guys. I've definitely looked at guys who were really confident in whatever they were doing and said like, wow, he's really attractive. But it wasn't the same crush aspect of like, I want to go out with him or I want him to talk to me. It was just more of an admiration, I think. The next question is, do you want to date or be in any type of exclusive relationship with somebody? I am currently in an exclusive relationship, very happily so. I've always been monogamous. I think monogamy aligns with my faith and also just my lifestyle, and it makes a lot of sense for me. I was only ever in one real relationship that was polyamorous, or it was like an open relationship. It was really uncomfortable for me the whole time to be compatible with monogamy. It was really hard for us to build a connection because I was so closed off, because I had that wall of being monogamous up. For me personally, monogamy is the best option. It makes the most sense and it helps me grow the most with one single person. The next question is, do you want to spend the rest of your life with someone, and if so, what genders, if any? I definitely want to spend the rest of my life with my girlfriend. That would be amazing. I just couldn't see myself like waking up every day next to my husband. Like, I see myself marrying a woman and I see myself having a wife. I don't know, like if I fell in love with a man, that would kind of, throw me on a trip, but I'd be down if that was, what I was gonna do. Next question is, do you want children and do you want to conceive them yourself with your partner? I am open to all ways of having children, whether that be IVF or adoption or some other technology that hasn't been invented yet. I do know that I would never in a million years want to carry a child, but I definitely do want to have children. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that that has always been part of my plan, and that has always been like my number one goal is to be a parent. The next two questions are, do you feel comfortable holding hands and do you feel comfortable hugging people, and what genders, if any? If you feel uncomfortable hugging or holding hands, you're gonna have a really hard time in church. Going to the youth group and the youth programs that my church put on, it was kind of understood that every time we sang, we held hands with everyone. So I think that sort of trained me to be comfortable hugging and to be comfortable holding hands. I think that, along with being socialized female, made it so I'm not uncomfortable hugging guys or girls or holding their hands, and it's not like a big deal to me. I think for some people who haven't grown up in an environment like that, like a church environment, I can understand why it would be uncomfortable for them to just hug a stranger, like meet someone and then hug them. In a similar way, I can understand why holding hands or hugging someone can be like a big deal or like a step in dating or in courtship because of how they were socialized. But for me, hugging and holding hands is just like a matter of fact. The next question is, what genders, if any, do you feel comfortable cuddling with? Like I said before, I am always down for a good cuddle. I cuddle with Winston. He's a male rabbit. I don't know if that's relevant. Being physically close and intimate with people that I'm very emotionally connected to really feeds my soul. If you're familiar with the love languages, my highest love language is physical touch. So I'm always down for a cuddle, feed my soul. That being said, I realized very quickly that it's not really socially acceptable to just go and cuddle your guy friends as a guy. The way that it is socially acceptable for, a young girl to go cuddle her other young girlfriends. The next question is, what genders, if any, do you feel comfortable kissing and making out with? So, I don't really know how to sugarcoat this. I've kissed a lot of people in my time. I've kissed a lot of people who identified all sorts of ways. I'd say my favorite people to kiss are people who identify as women and express themselves in a feminine way. I think the last time I kissed a cis guy, I was probably 16, and I was kind of teaching him how to kiss, and I don't know, cis guys just don't know how to kiss. I don't know what it is. It's just their mouths weren't made for it. The next question is, do you feel comfortable going all the way, and if so, what genders, if any? I've only ever gone all the way with cis females. That being said, I definitely could see myself going all the way with a pre-op trans woman or a trans guy. I don't know what it is about cis guys, but I could not see myself going all the way with this guy. Say if Michael B. Jordan wanted to take me out on a date, I wouldn't protest, but if he tried to take me back to his place and go all the way, I'm gonna call an Uber. I would be very uncomfortable. The next question is romance important to you in a relationship? Personally, romance is very important to me in a relationship. I think an exchange of romance, like a give and take, even if it's not equal, just showing that there's a give and take and that both sides are putting in effort to the romantic aspect of the relationship. I think that's something that I value a lot. I think that's really important to me. Being romantic with my partner is something that's critical. Like I said, I'm a really romantic guy, and if you're not down for the romance, or if that's not something that you're willing to give, then we're probably not going to be in a relationship for very long. The next question is sex important to you in a relationship? Where I'm at in my life right now, sex is very important in a relationship, but not just the act, more the communication around sex. And so being on the same page and communicating about what you like, what you don't like, what you're comfortable with, what turns you on, what turns you off, what you like to be called, how you like to be held. All of those things come together, and when it's time to commit the act of sex, both of you are going to be on the same page and you're going to be ready for that. And so I think communicating about sex and talking about sex is a lot more important to me than the physical act itself. But I think if I was in a relationship where we were celibate with each other now, that would be something that would be pretty difficult for me. I was in a couple relationships in high school where I was celibate with the girl who I was with. And I think if I were to be in something like that today, where we were still communicating about sex, but we were not engaging in the physical act, I think that would be difficult but doable, as long as the communication part was there. The next question is, out of everything, what is most important to you in a relationship? I don't think this is going to surprise anyone, but the most important thing to me in any kind of relationship is communication. I think if you are willing to communicate and you put in 100% effort into your communication in the relationship, it's going to be successful no matter what you're up against. The final question is, do you identify with any labels? And if so, what do they mean to you? In terms of attraction, I identify with straight, not so much heterosexual. Because I am a man who is attracted to women, I identify with straight. But because I wasn't born biologically male, heterosexual, I don't feel that that accurately represents my experience. But if someone called me heterosexual, like in passing, or if that was the box, I had to check on a form or something, then I wouldn't object. In terms of my sexual orientation, I don't identify with gay or bi or pan, only because I've only experienced one type of true sexual attraction, and that's been to girls. I think if I was more insecure and craved more to label myself, then I might come up with some crazy label to fit my very specific attraction and experience. But calling myself straight feels right, and I don't feel like the label doesn't do my identity justice. Before I say goodbye, I want to say thank you to Kovu for coming up with this tag. It's not only fun to answer these questions, but it got me thinking about different aspects of my attraction and sort of where they came from. If you guys want to do this tag, I'll leave a link to Kovu's video, the original, in the description below, along with the list of questions that he gave. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a like. Check out Kovu's video. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, you can leave them down below. And if you want to see more from me in the future, then subscribe. Stay sweet. Now I'm stuck with grinning, cause everything you say to me is something that I'll never be. Say it again, LGBT, you scared of letters now. Cis hats are the debtors now. I'm not judging, I'm just saying love is better now.